So in today's session, what we're gonna do first, we'll learn what is a Spring Security and what jars are needed to just implement since Spring Security, adding the jars to pom.xml files. Okay. And second, what we're gonna learn today is Spring Boot. What is Spring Boot? And third, what we're gonna learn is Spring REST APIs. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna just integrate this application with a database. Okay, so we'll be making a controller, I mean in the same way, but this time it won't be a I mean you remember that we have used controller, right?
Yeah,
In the last class for making an endpoint. So
yeah.
for REST for services, what we're gonna use is REST controller.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a REST controller that we would be making, and there would be a Spring Boot application. So let's get started off with what is Spring Boot. Any idea on what is Spring Boot?
No,
I mean, have you run any application on Spring Boot yet, or even heard
no,
of Spring Boot?
no.
Okay, so in Spring, okay, in Spring, what we started off with is Spring is for decoupling the dependencies. Okay, and in Spring MVC, what we learned is that what we are doing when we are making a web application, we are segregating the modules into model, view, and controller. I hope this is clear that this is a concept that we learned in last week's class, MVC,
Yeah,
right? Model, view, and controller. And
yeah.
we requested, we hit a request. That request went to request handler and then controller, then view resolver, and then send the data back to us on the UI part. That is on the UI. So, and what we did in this Spring MVC, that we configured a dispatcher servlet as well, which would be the front end controller, if you remember that. I mean, you remember this dispatcher servlet? We just created a front end controller and we extended the abstract annotation request that class.
Yep.
Okay, great. So, I mean, now, I mean, everything is been achieved with these two concepts that we have learnt in, that we are decoupling as well, and how we are decoupling using dependency injection and IOC container. Okay, and with Spring MVC, what we are doing, we are just segregating and dividing the modules into model view and controller. Now, I mean, what might be the problem? I mean, everything is good for us. The dependencies are decoupled with each other, and I mean, I mean, fluently. I mean, we made this web MVC application. Now, let's say, I mean, right now we dealt with, I mean, 10 to 12, I mean, classes. I mean, maybe 5 to 6 classes only, not 10 to 12. But let's say, I mean, in a real-time application, there would be, let's say, 1,000 classes. And what you need to do, I mean, configuration wise, I'm talking Naveen. So configuration wise, you need to every time define a request coming in, and all the configuration needs to go to dispatcher servlet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dispatcher servlet, and then you need to tell dispatcher servlet then that what is configuration file. I mean the same thing that we did in the last class. What is configuration file? Which controller is to be invoked? Okay, and third thing in WebMVC, what we did, we just we just created application and then deployed it to a server. When I'm saying deploy to a server, what I mean is how we are deploying it to a server. It's just like when you are doing run as on Tommy. Okay, so these three things needs to be done, right? And this is what we did in the last class on the configuration level, on making in the controller and telling the dispatcher servlet that what is the configuration file and giving in the path. Okay, and then what we did, we deployed this application for the deployment part. We created a var or jar and deployed it to server.